But let's get to some listener questions. So we posted on our Instagram earlier this week on what are your biggest pet peeves in football at the moment. And so I'm going to read a couple responses that we got. One of them was international break injuries being a pet peeve, which I agree with. That is a huge pet peeve. This follower, he especially mentioned the injury to Rafael Leao and how that will hurt Milan's chances for progressing through to the round of 16 in the Champions League. And this was before that game took place when this comment came through, and I agreed 100%, man. Rafael Leao missing from AC Milan is a huge loss, and you can definitely tell they were missing him in that game. There were a lot of other injuries, though, in that last international break. I mean, we saw Gavi, he's out for the season. Camavinga's out for a while. Warren Zaire-Emery for PSG is out for the rest of the season. Vinny Jr. is out. So there was a lot of injuries. I think I got to sympathize for Barcelona and that Gavi injury because Gavi has been phenomenal for Barca, and they are definitely going to miss him. The other pet peeve we had is all of the ragging on Manchester United when they sit sixth in the Premier League and are only 6 points off of leaders Arsenal. Kind of valid, I think. I know Redbeard and I, we have been ragging on Manchester United. It's probably a little too easy with the new ownership, with the players' off-field issues. The way they've been playing, honestly, is not the most attractive. They don't really play with an identity, and then they've had injuries, Lisandro Martinez. You see some of these expensive signings possibly turning into flops. And so they are easy to rag on, to make fun of, to banter about. But when it comes to results, at least in the Premier League, they're hard to banter with. I mean, they've got 4 out of 5 wins. Their last loss was that Man City game, which, okay, they lost to Man City. That's honorable, I guess. They're a tough team to beat, Man City. The one thing I would say is they're beating these teams that they probably should be beating. And so that's, I guess, what I would have to say about Manchester United, and the ragging on them is, I mean, they beat Everton, Luton, barely scraped by them, barely scraped by Fulham. And so they're games they should be winning. And then they have a couple losses to Newcastle in the League Cup, Man City I mentioned. But then again, a 2-1 win against Sheffield. Those are teams they should be beating, Manchester United. And so I think that's where the ragging is coming from. It's the way they're playing. Against any really good team, they struggle. They played well against Galatasaray, though. Like I said, they played great attacking football, probably because they had to. They had to win that game in order to progress. And so I think that's why we're seeing it. But yeah, Man United, though, I will stop harping on them too much because they are not far off in the league. I mean, we've been praising Tottenham and their fantastic season. United's only 2 points back of them. So I agree. Time to stop bantering on United, at least for the time being. We can hop over to Chelsea because we know how they're playing. All right, one of the other responses we got. So what are you sick and tired of? What's your biggest pet peeve at the moment? Obviously, it's going to be VAR. Lots of them were VAR. We all know VAR sucks, guys. I mean, this one's obvious. The consistency has just been subpar, not only in the Prem, but Bundesliga, La Liga. We saw it in the Champions League. Did see Premier League is looking to hire former players and to get them trained ASAP, so we'll see if that helps. And honestly, that was one of my suggestions we had on a previous episode, which I will link. You guys should check it out. It's basically 5 ways to improve VAR. So make sure you check out that episode so I won't talk too much on this subject because we have gone into it into detail. So make sure you check it out.